Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the games, players, and the big stories shaping sports right now.
And we want you to be a part of it too. Drop your comments, questions, and takes. We'll read them all and bring them into future shows. So please hit like, subscribe, and join the conversation every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok, and wherever you listen. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Hello, Joseph.
Good morning. Had to check the clock. It feels like afternoon sometimes, but nope, still morning. So good morning on a thirsty Thursday.
Yes, sir. It is a thirsty Thursday, and man, I'm telling you, we got to get ready. There's a lot of football coming up, and we're going to talk college football and then a little NFL. But man, may I start with Fernando Mendoza from your high school alma mater, Christopher Columbus?
Yeah. If that's where you want to start, sure.
Okay. Fernando has won the Walter Camp Award.
Well, interesting. Well deserved. Well deserved.
I agree. And it is notable that the last three in a row, players that have won the Walter Camp, and 10 of the last players that have won the Walter Camp Award have gone on to win the Heisman. So there's a lot of talk about Diego Pavia, also deserving.
Yes.
And he's got quite the resume too. And I'm wondering, do you think Pavia may have a chance, or do you think this one's in the bag for Fernando?
I think, sure, everyone has a chance. At the beginning of the season, I think the pool was 3 or 4 quarterbacks, including, Carson Beck, Marcel Reed, maybe others. I think Mendoza has, for a couple of reasons, really just kind of, as far as the quarterbacks go, just kind of separated himself. The Ohio State Conference Championship game did not hurt his chances. Didn't light it up. But listen, the guy has, passing 33 touchdowns and only 6 picks, 71% completion rate. This is not, by the way, throwing for Boise State or, North Dakota State, no offense, or North Texas. This is Indiana. They've had a pretty good schedule this year. Again, the icing on the top was the Ohio State game. He's well deserved. He had 6 touchdowns rushing too, by the way. So you're looking at 39 touchdowns. Team leader, good guy, great post game. You almost have to tune in to just see his post game interviews because the guy, he's wearing it on both sleeves. Tears flowing, yelling, scream. Just it's awesome.
He won my heart way back when we talked about it on one of our previous shows. That pass to beat Penn State, and I know Penn State ended up 6-6 this year, but it was still at Penn State and hitting Cooper in the end zone. And we even brought the video clip up and watched his feet just getting in bounds.
Yeah.
Mendoza is clutch and he's undefeated. End of story for me. I think he wins the Heisman. I hope he wins the Heisman.
I mean, let's put it this way. It wouldn't be like, whoa, what? Like shocker, you know what I mean? I mean,
No.
Jeremiah Love and non-quarterbacks that are in the discussion, hey, Love's a great running back. The under 40 yards against Miami first game of the year, people have been watching that game a little bit more than they probably would have if there wasn't the controversy. So, I mean, everyone has a bad game. I'm kind of kidding about that. But, yeah, Fernando, the only thing about Fernando Mendoza that should be questioned is, do we want a guy with the name Mendoza associated with the Heisman Trophy when in another major sport, in baseball, Mendoza is the definition of below average. If you don't hit the Mendoza line, you stink. So, do we really need that in the Heisman Trophy? That might hurt him. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Now you're making me want to look up Mendoza's, see if he played baseball at Christopher Columbus High School.
Well,
We'll have to do
you know
that.
what? Hey, if he hit 200, then it would make a lot of sense that he
Man, the
would be on his
Mendoza
own
line.
line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to taint the Heisman Trophy with bringing in such mediocrity by name, but no, he deserves it. I think he's going to win it for sure. But hey, we'll see. And the team's doing well. So
And speaking of deserving and Miami and quarterbacks, rest in peace. George Mira Sr. passed away on December 9th. And I remember growing up hearing my dad always talk about how good a quarterback George Mira was. He was a two-time All-American and the first great quarterback at University of Miami. Yeah, rest in
yes.
peace, George.
George Mira was one of the very first quarterbacks, the first dual threat as well. Back then, it wasn't as commonplace to see guys running around like Fran Tarkenton kind of thing. I'm not comparing those two,
Or
but
Greasy.
yeah, well, unlike Greasy, yeah, but Greasy couldn't even get out of the way of Deacon Jones' cleats. That's how slow he was. But that's the broken ankle reference. But anyways, George Mira. So he's an anomaly to me. Now, by the way, Miami Hurricane, his numbers retired at Miami, number 10, literally, really kind of helped put Miami on the map, arguably, with Ted Hendricks and those kind of guys in that era. But check it out. Let's look at his numbers. A career at Miami, 42% completion rate, 19 touchdowns. That's awesome. 20 interceptions, passer rating of 57. But the way he played, the grit, he had some key. It was just kind of funny. A lot of his games were just, he kind of won them. So he was just perceived as this great leader and athlete and quarterback. By the way, his best game was, and this was very interesting to me, his best game was in a bowl game, and it was the Gotham Bowl against
Yeah,
Nebraska. Where do you think the Gotham Bowl was played?
I think New York.
What stadium would it possibly have been in?
Uh, I'm going to take a stab and say the Polo Grounds,
No, it was Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium.
Do you remember when they configured it for like Rutgers? Was it Rutgers, Miami, or something like that in the Bronx Bowl or something? And everyone was freaking out, like, how do you, because of the configuration, like you had to squeeze the field, like one of the end zones, like literally was running into the stands, like you had to get your feet down in a hurry, or you like literally hit the wall. Apparently, they did that a long time ago in 1962, the Gotham Bowl. But George Mira threw for 321 yards, a school record at the time. And Miami lost 36-34 to the Cornhuskers. But anyways, yeah, rest in peace, George Mira. Thanks for laying some groundwork for people like, Jim Kelly and others to come along. So,
And the other night you mentioned when we were just chatting, he's one of only 5 players that have had their number retired at the storied program known as University of Miami football.
yeah, it's rare to have your number
One of
retired.
5.
Yeah.
Rest
Yeah.
in peace, George.
Yeah. RIP. So that, yeah, thanks for bringing that up because, we got Mendoza, Christopher Columbus Catholic High School, not recruited by Miami, very hard. By the way, his dad, I'm talking about Mendoza's father. There was talk about when he entered the portal, would Miami pursue him? And of course, his father, without saying it, was like, over my dead body, still bitter from not being heavily recruited by Miami. Miami's probably having second thoughts on that, but good for him, man. He Indiana was a great choice for him leaving Cal. Cal was the only school that really showed a lot of interest. So be looking forward to seeing him play in a couple of weeks.
Yes, absolutely. And this weekend we've got the Army Navy game. So it's not
I
a
like it.
blank slate this weekend. Army Navy is always fun to watch. Can't wait to see how they special make their helmets every year. That's made it more interesting. They've got some really cool looking helmet designs and stuff like that. Um, the also Saturday night college football's first bowl game. And now we begin the season where we start making fun of all the different sponsor names for bowl games. But this one's called the LA Bowl, and it's Boise State taking on the Huskies of Washington, 8 o'clock Saturday night.
Nice, nice. The LA stands for Los Angeles.
It could be lower altitude. I,
Oh, yeah. Well, then it wouldn't be in Boise, right?
no, I don't think it's going to be in Boise. Good. We won't have that blue field staring at us.
Could be lousy atmosphere. Could be a lot of things.
Low
Yeah.
alcohol.
Whoa, that would hurt attendance. But the point is, there's nostalgia, at least for me, when bowl season kicks off. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters who's in it, but I mean, Boise State, Washington, pretty good matchup, I guess. And I think, listen, I think we should pay a little bit extra. Well, we should put a little bit of extra effort into watching these bowl games because I firmly believe, and I'm not alone, that it won't be long before a lot of these bowl games are no longer even around. When you look at, the attendance in a lot of these bowls, I'm not talking about the Shreveport Bowl and stuff where there's 10 people in the stands. Some of these even, bigger bowl games, they're not very well attended. And the costs of going to these bowls, and I know there's sponsors, but they don't pay for everything. I don't know. We'll see. But hey, bowl season is, like I said, it's nostalgic. Get your onion dip and Ruffles potato chips out and get ready.
That sounds good. And I
Yeah,
agree
me
with
too.
you. I foresee the crystal ball in my mind now, and it's a lot of it's influenced by things that people are saying. But if they do expand the college football playoffs, I'm all for it. It they need to, and the bowls and the sponsors, they can call it the college football playoff Pop Tarts first round CFP game. I don't care. They can still find their way to get their sponsorship in there. So that's fine. But I agree with you. I think we're watching a lot of change in front of us right now.
Yeah,
So
big time. And it's
yeah.
fast. What do you think about this? This is totally I kind of just came up with this.
Ooh, I
So I
like.
don't think I don't think it's out there, but they have like regional in the NCAA basketball brackets, they have like a regional. So you don't just have one team or two teams, one game. You have a couple of games or several games at one arena. And
Right.
your team wins or loses, then you file out of the stadium and then they bring in new fans. What if instead of having these individual bowls everywhere and have 11,000 people in the stands at the uh, Palmolive dishwashing bowl, how about we have like I don't know, let's just call it the Western Bowl. We'll do better than that in the marketing, but let's just have the Western Bowl, and let's have Boise and Washington play at noon, and then at 3:30 have another bowl game, and then have another. So have multiple bowl games, on site where you have six teams or even four teams participating.
Ooh,
So now you have a lot more people. The venue, I know you can't individualize it like the way they changed the Giants and Jets Stadium. I've seen that where the Jets played on Sunday afternoon, and then on Monday night the Giants played in completely different looking stadium. You can't do that maybe, but the point is the costs are a little lower. Maybe you've got more fans attending because you got more fans in the area. It's a boom for the city or town that hosts the bowl. Anyways, got to do something because we don't
spread
want
it
the Bulls to
out.
go away. Yeah.
Spread it out over a couple days and call them regional Final Fours.
Regional.
Whoa.
Well, call it. Well, just call it regional bowl. The regional Western Bowl or whatever. Where have
Yeah.
8 teams in the bowl game and right 2 games on a Saturday, one game on Friday night, whatever. Uh,
Right.
I just don't want the bowls to go away. And by the way, don't forget, there's a lot of incentives tied to the bowls, such as um, you can legally practice if you're going to a bowl game where you really can't if you're not, with coaches and the whole thing. By the way, I did not know this, but in looking at Miami's incoming recruits, there's about 9, 10 recruits that are early entry and they are, on campus. I didn't know, but because Miami's going to, the CFP or a postseason game, those recruits can actually participate. I mean, pads full blown in practice because they're early enrollees. Now, I don't think you want them to playing for a CFP, you don't want to muddy the water on what you're doing. But just think if Miami was going to a bowl game instead, like the Pop-Tarts Bowl, you could actually have some of these people practice. The point is there's value in the bowl games other than just, the fans and all of that, and the sponsors and so forth. So hopefully we can figure it out.
Yeah, I don't want to see it go away either.
I don't need it.
There's got to be a way, and they're going to figure it out because of moolah,
Well, they should.
dinero.
They
Yep.
should.
So, do you want to? We've got next Friday night. We can go over the games, the brackets, just to start getting lubed up and ready. Friday night is the first of two of these games, which are actually rematches. And it's going to be number 9 Alabama against number 8 Oklahoma in Norman. The Sooners beat Alabama on November 15th, only a month ago, 23-21. So we won't delve into these games too much, but that's our Friday night primer to get ready for next Saturday. That's December 19th. And then Saturday, December 20th, Miami at Texas Tech.
A&M.
I mean, Texas A&M. Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah, we're not going to play Texas Tech unless we get to the finals, just the way the brackets are set up. So you did scare me there. Wait, are you predicting that Miami wins and beats Texas A&M and then Ohio State and then Georgia to get to the final to play Texas Tech? Thank you, my friend. That's a lot of faith.
That's the crystal ball, man. That's crystal ball. You got it. And then on Saturday, it's the triple header. We've got Miami, Texas A&M at noon. It's Saturday, the second rematch, Tulane at Ole Miss. And then we have the James Madison Dukes taking on Oregon at 7:30 next Saturday night. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of wishing it was this weekend, aren't you?
Listen, I don't know. We've got a couple people that I don't mind having, 9 more days until we play because especially a couple people in my defensive backfield. Are we going to talk about these games? You want to have a brief mention before we go? Next week, we can actually get closer to talking about them more in depth, but just any topical observations on these games right now?
Yeah, I think the James Madison Dukes, I think they owe Duke University, they should send them a big thank you for getting them into CFP when Duke beat Virginia.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, yeah. Not the Marmadukes, they're just the Dukes.
Yeah,
So,
like it.
yeah. And their mascot is the Duke dog.
Oh, love it.
And
Is that
and
like a hunting dog or something?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah. We'll have to get
Since
an image of it
yeah,
next week.
we'll have to do some research. Yeah. And
Well, I think everyone on paper, and listen, aside from the controversy of James Madison making into this thing, over teams like Notre Dame, Texas, Vanderbilt, whatever. I will say this: James Madison has won more games in the last 3 seasons, 34, than any other team in the CFP. We can talk about who that was against all day long, but also Oregon has not lost to a group of 5 team since before Barack Obama was a senator. So it's been
whoa,
17 years. So I don't see this one changing that little trend. But
come on
it's
now.
unfortunate in a way. And you know why it's unfortunate? Because Oregon, hey, they're seeded number 5. This has nothing to do with them. It's not their fault. But you get kind of like a warm-up game and a practice game where other teams like Texas A&M, it's just bad. CFP screwed that whole thing up.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But don't break the hearts of all those people out there that are listening and hoping and rooting for James Madison to blow the whole thing wide open. They're the
would love it.
Duke underdogs, the Duke
Would love it.
dogs.
And no, that's not an anti-Oregon statement. That would be incredible if that were to if they go to the fourth quarter and it's a game, that'll be incredible. But hey, let's see what happens. You never know. Hey, Oregon, I don't know. It's not like they've been like battle tested all year. They're one of their best wins is against Penn State. Let's just leave it at that. Um, Alabama, Oklahoma. What do you got?
I was just going to say too, South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame is going to have a James Madison rally because they want James Madison to blow this whole thing wide open. Yeah, I can imagine. Uh, you
Well,
said you
that's
wanted to
that's
talk.
interesting because if I was Notre Dame, I would want nothing more than Oregon to win this game 75 to nothing and just literally rub it in the CFP committee's face that they completely screwed this up. And I got a bad feeling it's going to be a 45 to 10 game anyways, which is close enough.
Yeah, yeah. So you said the next game. I agree with that. It's just I don't know. It's crazy. There's a lot of people that are wanting James Madison to win. I should have just left it at
Yeah.
that.
So if you're not an Oregon fan, you do just because everyone wants the underdog to win in this
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah. So we
Speaking speaking of underdogs, I mean Alabama, Oklahoma. I mean this is only the third time in 15 years that Alabama is an underdog in the postseason. So, you know, I I don't know who's the underdog, quite frankly. After watching Oklahoma's offense and Alabama's offense in the last two games I saw them play, my God, this might be a 3-0 game.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that too. And then the only thing I can think of off the at the top of my head is the revenge factor. You know,
Yep,
so
yep,
we'll have to. I'm definitely going to keep that in mind with Alabama going in for a second shot at
yep.
Oklahoma.
Well, listen, Alabama hasn't won a postseason game outside of the state of Georgia in 8 years.
Hmm.
So we'll see if that matters. I got a bad feeling that neither one of these offenses, I mean, Georgia's defense is really good. Oklahoma's might be arguably better. So Alabama had negative rushing yards. It is fair to say in college, sacks come off your rushing. So, it wasn't quite as bad as that, but it was bad. So we'll see.
And then the other
Um,
game that Ole Miss and Tulane. Ole Miss beat them 45-10 on September 20th.
Another one.
Yeah, who knows? It's just probably going to be another. But with the coaching change at Ole Miss, you never know.
Hey, listen, Tulane, for their league and for their, level of competition, they're a really good team. They're really well coached. They've got good players, obviously. They've had more 10-win seasons in the last 3 years than they've had in the previous 75 years. So, good for them. I think it's great. The only one problem, they're going to be playing, a very, very good group of four SEC team. But no, they have their own issues with Lane Kiffin and blah, blah, blah. So maybe that is worth 10 to 14 points. So maybe, it's 34-17 instead of, 49-3, but we'll see.
That'll help out when you have your onion dip and your ruffles. Just
Yeah.
you want a closer game. It
Yeah.
all tastes.
I will say this. Tulane's defense is I should recant what I just said. I think Tulane can keep Ole Miss from blowing up. So, their rushing defense is actually better statistically than Alabama, Texas, even Ohio State. But, again, level of competition skews all these numbers, so it's hard to say. But I think Ole Miss will win this, no problem.
Yeah, yeah. And that's it. That's our slate for next weekend. And then the big
Uh,
news
we're
before
not
we.
going to mention Miami, Texas A&M.
Well, yes, yes. I'm sorry. Uh, Miami is 3-2 all
I
time
get it.
versus
I get it.
A&M.
No, listen, I know Florida State fan. Let's just gloss over the Miami, Texas A&M game. I get it.
I thought I mentioned earlier. Sorry.
Oh,
Three
you
and
mentioned they were playing, but we've commented on every other game. I think we need to comment on this one.
I agree with you. Miami is 3-2 all time.
And I will start with this. What the reason Miami is in this CFP was, no, not the head to head. That was, why Notre Dame isn't. Um, only being able to pick one. And that was Miami's intent was never to get rid of Notre Dame. But the reason they're in is the way they started the season, first 5 games, and the way they ended the season, the last 4 games. Those 9 games, Miami really put it on people. But the defense is why Miami has a real good shot at beating Texas A&M. Miami's defense, now listen to this, because we don't talk a lot of stats unless they are just stats like I did not know that. Miami allows a touchdown once every 18 drives the last 4 weeks of the season. And they played some good teams, some good offensive teams. So you're looking at, that is playoff type defense there.
And at the beginning of the year, there was mention that Reuben Bain should be a Heisman finalist. Where's Reuben?
Yeah, I mean, to be frank, I don't think he's going to even be in New York. Shouldn't really be. I mean, he hasn't had a bad season at all. He's been great, but the problem is the numbers don't show everything because when you're double teamed, quite
Yep.
frankly, when you're held, if just for fun, watch some of Miami games and just watch Reuben Bain just get held every game. I know referees suck. No, seriously, he gets held almost every play. But when you're double teamed and all that, you're allowing Mesador and some of the other guys to feast. That doesn't help you for the Heisman, but it does help your defense. Miami's pass defense, by the way, is a top 10 pass efficiency defense, and they're the only double-digit seed in the CFP that can say that. Not even Alabama, Oregon, Oklahoma, none of them can. So Miami's defense, I think, will be the reason that they have a really good shot at this win. All the offense has to do is put up 24, 28 points. That's all against a very good defense, but that's all they got. Hey, listen, Texas A&M's last game was a loss, an ugly loss. So I
Yeah.
don't know if this time off has really helped them either.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the only thing I can think of that would give Texas A&M an advantage is the 12th man. And again, I want to go back to your comment earlier, which I loved, is that these games should be at a neutral site and part of regional Final Fours, that kind of thing. That's what we're trying to envision, right?
Yeah,
Save the bowls. There'll be bowl games, but they'll be a part of the CFP
yeah.
bracket. But
Well, yeah, I agree. Like we've talked about, the first 4 rounds of the higher seed get a home game, and then the first 4 by Georgia, those teams, they don't get a home game. They got to go right to offsite, neutral site, wherever. Anyways,
yeah,
it's just weird.
yeah, that is weird.
I like that it's a noon game. I've already looked at the weather so far. It looks like it's going to be 77 in College Station and sunny. Weather won't be a factor. And Miami's played well in noon games, so we'll see. I think it'll be a good matchup.
Me
Speaking of
too.
great matchups, when you start looking ahead, um, let's just leave this. We're not going to talk about it. But this whole situation with Moore in Michigan is getting uglier by the second. And
Yeah,
it's all what's the word we have to use, not supposedly
alleged.
alleged.
Yeah,
Thank you. 39 years old, perennial program, and it looks to be you've thrown all of that away over an intern. Not only bad choice in a relationship, of course, but also some possible criminal charges. But wow, 39 years old. Sad to watch. Sad to watch people self-inflict these massive wounds. Forget the family and everything else. Um, let's talk about the NFL, though. We've got some really good matchups.
yes, we do. My goodness, there's so many. We had to talk a few minutes before our show.
Yeah.
Sunday at 1, I mentioned the Bills and the Patriots. Wow. AFC supremacy. Are we watching a changeover?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know until the Patriots, beat the Bills or go further, I guess, into the playoffs. No, but the New England Patriots are a nice story. Uh, the last 5 Bills Patriots games in Buffalo, and I understand the players are different, but the last 5 games, the New England's only averaged 11 points. So, you know, weather and all that, it's not like New England can complain about that, but they need to
No.
they need to score a little bit more than that. And Josh Allen is playing like Josh Allen, so this is going to be a really good game.
And so yeah, there's no doubt. I'm going to be tuned into that one without a doubt. Do you want
Yeah.
to do your pick? We'll just
Yeah,
pick
let's
each
do it.
one as we
I'm
go.
gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Buffalo.
And I'm going against you.
Wow.
I'm going to pick the Patriots
Okay.
in a razor sharp, razor close ball
Wait,
game.
wait, wait, wait. Are they in Gillette Stadium?
Oh, yeah. 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 Razor close. 22-21 Patriots.
Yes. Well, wow, you're picking the score even 22-21.
Yeah.
We'll talk offline and you can tell me how you're getting to 22, but that's okay.
I'm just trying
Uh,
to get Gillette to sponsor us. But,
yeah. No, no, 3 touchdowns and they go for 2 on one of them. I love it.
yep.
Yeah, why not? Hey, listen, all kidding aside, I can picture the Bills doing that, an offsides on the extra point. They move it to the 1 yard line. Teams are doing that all the time now.
Yeah, there you go.
Um, yeah, that should be a good game. I'm looking forward to that. And we talked about this off prior to the show that the 4 o'clock slate. I watch Red Zone most of the time, and the 1 o'clock slates usually dominate. Not this week. The 4 o'clock slate is great. The Lions Rams. What do you think about that one?
3 425 games. It's like I'm going to go find another TV and put it out versus the red zone because these are all great games at 425 Sunday afternoon. Lions at Rams. Man, I want to do my pick. I like both teams. Love Dan Campbell. I've always liked the Rams. I'm picking first on this one. I'm going to take the Rams.
Okay. Is this in LA?
It is in LA. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, that's a good pick. This is a really interesting thing. So the Rams are one of the least blitzing teams in the NFL. I think they rank like fourth in blitzes. Who cares? This is why I care. Jared Goff, he has the highest completion percentage in the NFL when blitzed, but he has the lowest completion percentage when he's not blitzed. I mean, that that is like what? Since the Rams don't blitz very often, that seems like an advantage to the Rams, right? So I think I'm going to have to go with the Rams too. I
Okay.
think the Rams win this one at home.
I like that astute research, and I'm glad you're picking the Rams. And then we'll find out on our next show that we both got it wrong.
Of
Who
course.
knows?
Well,
Lions are tough.
it's a big game. It's a big game for both teams.
Yep. And then our second big game of the 425 Sunday afternoon bonanza is the Colts. And everybody's been talking about the Colts this week because of Grandpa Rivers. And they're going in and they're facing who a lot of people think right now is the best team in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks. All yours, Joe.
Well, I don't know what's going on with the Colts, and I don't know if Philip Rivers is going to start. I don't know if he's had enough time to even. It's not the playbook or whatever. I don't know what kind of shape he was in when he got there, but what choice do they really have? I mean, I don't know. You don't want it to just look like a marketing ploy. You know what I mean?
No.
Hey, let's sell Philip Rivers shirts and start him. Can he really quarterback this team? I don't know, and I don't know if it's going to matter because I will tell you this: Seattle, the Seattle Seahawks, they've allowed a 20-plus yard run in 7 straight games. Now, there's a lot of other runs that are not 20, but 10, 12, 15. Their running defense, I'm not sure what's been going on, but you know what the Colts are going to want to do, and you know who they're going to want to do it with. So
Yeah.
if the Colts can really, if they can run successfully, which Seattle looks like it's letting teams do that, it might not be as important on who's taking the snaps from center. So, uh, you know, I'm going to pick with my wallet, and I'm going to pick the Seahawks on this one. But we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to say the least.
That was a very good research there. Again, once again, Joseph. Uh, Rivers, if he is playing and they can get Taylor running that ball, then he's going to be more effective with the, play action. And he does have a history with Shane Steichen, the head coach for the Colts, back
That's
over
right.
in San Diego. I heard someone say yesterday on TV that he should grasp the playbook pretty quickly. So, with that in mind, I think I'm going to pick the Seahawks too, because
Hey,
the game's in Seattle. That's a tough place to win. Speaking of 12th man,
yeah,
yeah, I'm not. I'd love to see the Colts win it just to make things more interesting.
sure.
But I'm going to agree with you with the Seahawks. Just look like they're on a mission.
Yeah, it's really funny too. I was reading something somewhere, I can't remember where now, but it was something like I didn't realize this, but Philip Rivers was a very involved person in helping Bo Nix and actually a couple of other quarterbacks navigate the draft and all of that. So he was kind of like a mentor to get them through the draft and that whole process. And the comment was, "Well, wouldn't it be funny if the mentor for Bo Nix and blah blah blah? It might have been JJ McCarthy or something. Wouldn't it be funny though if if he becomes like if he plays Bo Nix in the playoffs? It's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah,
So we'll see how Grandpa does if he actually
we
gets
will.
in there. I bet he
Yeah,
plays.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no matter what happens, he at least knows that he'll get the discount at Golden Corral. After the game, and that's the important thing, isn't it?
yeah, especially the all-you-can-eat shrimp. Yep, yep.
Well, yeah, it's all you can eat anything. And you know
All
what?
you can eat, but he
From
likes
from
shrimp. Yeah,
Well, he does? Well, makes
I don't
sense.
know. He's
Well,
from
with a name
Alabama.
like Rivers, maybe he likes catfish. I don't know.
Yeah, he's from Alabama. So
Well, there you go.
crawdaddy, craw
Packers,
granddaddy.
Broncos.
Yeah, and finally we wrap up our 425 bonanza. Man, I'll tell you what. We have talked at length about both teams this year, and Green Bay defense, I think, is going to be the difference. And I've watched the Broncos offense, and there's many times I kind of go, I don't know. Their defense is great too, but I know it's at Mile High Stadium. But I'm picking the Packers to go in there and pull this game off. I really like the Packers' momentum right now.
Me, I do too. I really do. I think the Broncos. The Broncos aren't blowing teams out. Not that Green Bay is, or not that in the NFL. That's not really even important. Just win, baby, right? But
Yeah, just
um,
win, baby.
I'm also going to pick Green Bay, and here's two reasons why. The Green Bay Packers, they've won 8 of their last 9 games when scoring 20 or more. Denver has held opponents to 20 or less once this season. So something's got to give. I mean, if that's not going to be the same pattern, right? And
Right.
I don't know if that would mean Green Bay scores less than 20 or Denver holds them to under 20. The same thing, but why was the reason of that? And I think Green Bay is going to score more than 20, and because of that, I don't think Denver's offense can keep up. Not yet. I think they're another year. Sean Payton will have them. I think Denver will be the new, Kansas City kind of team in another year
Yeah,
or so. So,
we'll
I'm
see.
going with the Packers as well.
Okay, yeah, we'll see Denver and the Chargers battling it out versus Kansas City and everybody else. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. And then
Um,
we got
on a side note, I want to keep an eye on this too. Denver has allowed the opening drive touchdown in 5 straight games. The
wow,
reason that's crazy is the league is at 32%. Denver's at 100%. So interesting to see if that continues because I don't know what the odds are on that, but it's getting pretty crazy.
bet Green Bay is aware of that.
Yeah, I bet you they
Oh
are.
yeah, and we'll see how that turns out. So then we've got a interesting Monday night ball game. Uh, the Dolphins at 6-7, and they still, like we talked about in the last show, they still have a little bit less than 1% chance to get to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl. So they go into Pittsburgh to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. What do you think about that one? We want to do a pick on that one?
Sure. I'll pick the Dolphins.
Yeah, I like it. We've got the
What
Dolphins.
about you?
Yeah, uh, I'm hoping they can get the fifth straight win, and of course I'm going to pick the Dolphins. I'm a homer, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. But I did want to mention real quick, and a lot of Dolphins fans, or whether you're a Dolphins fan or not, Steelers fans probably remember it too. Early 70s, the glory years for the Dolphins. There was a safety who's in the Hall of Fame, uh, Dick Anderson, in the first half against the Steelers, had 4 interceptions.
Wow.
What's even greater about it is he returned 2 of them for touchdowns.
Amazing.
But what's amazing is sounds like, oh, okay, that's a blowout. What did the Dolphins end up winning the game by? They only won 30-26 because
Right.
that Steelers team was about to become, when the Dolphins regime ended, that Steelers team was about to win a couple straight Super Bowls. That was 2 very good football teams
Yeah.
that
No, that
night
was
in
yeah,
Miami.
that was back when they were both playing pretty good. That was Dick Anderson and Jake Scott, number
Yep.
13. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a good game to watch, I guess. In closing too, I don't know if the odds of making the playoffs are based on, assuming you win out, or based on your schedule and the games you're supposed to win or lose. Is that
Yeah.
your percentage? Because if the Dolphins win out, I don't know. Does that mean their percentage of making the playoffs is 50, or is it still less than one? I don't know. I'm gonna probably look into that as we start getting closer to the end of the season. But well, that was
That's it.
good. A lot of good games on the NFL, and of course, got to keep our eye on college as well.
Yep.
But always great to see you, my
You too.
friend.
You
Yep,
too,
and
Joe.
we got looking forward to this weekend for sure. And that is it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
And please don't forget, your comments are appreciated and they are a part of the show. Drop them below. We'll read them and feature them in future episodes. Be sure to like, subscribe, and catch us every week for free on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok, or wherever you listen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Joseph.
Take care. Enjoy the weekend and the football. See you, man.
You got it, Joe.